Hello, and welcome to Inspired into Action, where I interview inspiring women who are taking action in their business. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to Inspired into Action. I'm Tara Omatosho, and today we're going to be talking to Rozs G. Rozs G is going to tell us about who she is and what it is that she does. How are you doing today?
I am great, Tara. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being a part of your show, and I'm so excited that we get a chance to talk tonight.
Yes, me too, me too. Rozs G is the CEO and founder of Rated G Agency. Could you tell us some more about your agency and what it is that you do?
So absolutely. So yes, I am the CEO and founder of the Rated G Agency. We've been around for over 5 years. So we passed the 5-year mark this year in 2019. And so we're really excited about that. And basically what we do, we work with high achieving entrepreneurs, contractors, consultants, government contractors. We work with people, even nonprofit organizations, and we work to help them to elevate their brand and to elevate their message, whether it also be a product or a service, or if it's a nonprofit organization, their cause. So we help them to elevate their brand, and we do that by helping them to strengthen their brand development through brand messaging, as well as the second part of our business, or the second component of our business, is we help to place them into the media. So on the other side of our branding house, we have the media relations, where we help people to gain media and help them to gain publicity to elevate what they're doing and to get out there into the world. So we're really excited about that.
Wow, that is awesome. That's awesome. So tell us how long you told us how long you've done this, but tell us, how did you get involved in this? Where did all this happen? Was this something that you always wanted to do? Tell us more.
Oh wow, that's a really great question. So, my background is kind of interesting because I actually went to school and got a degree in computer science and mathematics.
Wow.
As you know, computer science and math has nothing to do with the communications industry, right. But I went to school there, and I really went down a path of IT because of, that's where I had my degree, and that was just naturally, the path that I took. Mm-hmm. As I was going along that IT path, and I worked for some tremendous companies. I was really blessed to work for some really great companies like America Online. And America Online back then was like the Google today. It was like the Google, the Apple, right, of today. So I started out working with them, and then I went on to work with Northrop Grumman and some other companies like Sybase, and did some contracting with AT&T. So I had a 15-year span of working in IT, and I was not happy. So it's funny because it's like I had an amazing, I mean, if you ask anybody, about, the field of study that I undertook, computer science, I was like, okay, that has to be great. Again, I landed by the grace of God with some amazing companies and just really cutting edge companies. So it was almost like I was in these dream environments, but I wasn't living my dream.
Gotcha.
I was in these dream environments, but I personally wasn't living my dreams. And actually, I was really miserable on the inside. It was a conflict of interest. I used to, go to work really sad on the inside. A lot of days I cried because I didn't know at the moment that I was having kind of like a purpose conflict. I just something just wasn't right for me.
Wow.
And then I tried to go and say, well, it's not like I'm ungrateful, because I'm very grateful, great salary, great benefits, all of these things, but still it was something on the inside that just wasn't falling into alignment with what I knew that I was supposed to do. And so what happened was, I was, I ended up being a volunteer. Actually, I was voluntold. So I wasn't a volunteer. I was voluntold through my pastor at the time, who is a wonderful man of God still to this day, and my spiritual father. And he looked at me one day and he said, communications. And I didn't get it at that time, but that's the field that I started to work in through my church, through the nonprofit organization, which was my church. And I started to learn about internal communications, external communications, and of course, a part of external communications is public relations. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got my feet wet. And, there's a saying out there, Tara, that says, like if you put 10,000 hours into something, that you are considered an expert. And I don't know if someone anonymously said that or unknown, but that is like if you put 10,000 hours or if you spend 10,000 hours doing something, that you're an expert. Right. And so what I did, I took those 13 years of experience, and that was the catalyst that I needed to start my own company. And I started out a company, it was a communications company, but it was more with writing, because that was one of the things that people told me that I did well a lot, writing. So I started with a kind of a writing service called Oh, That's Right, kind of a spin-off on like, Oh, That's Right.
Right.
And so I did that for like 1 or 2 years, and then that morphed into the Rated G agency, where I, took all of the skills that I had and all of the opportunities that was afforded to me, turned it into a business. So here we are.
Wow, that's amazing, because oftentimes, well, a lot of times people find themselves in a very similar situation where they're working in a field and then things just they're not driven like they used to be, or they're not passionate about like they used to be. And then they pick up something else and like, this is what I really want to do. And it turns out to be that's what you should have been doing in the first place. But it's just like the scripture where it talks about God works everything out for your good. So no matter where you started and where you are now, it still is for your good. So
that's right.
Yeah, so that's sort of what I was hearing when you were telling the listeners about your story. But because even though you may be in a situation now where you don't like what you're doing, you can find something else and you can start again.
That's right. Yeah. And and during that time, it almost seemed like it was so impossible to do, because all of the barriers were coming up. Like, okay, you have like 15 years. It's not like you're 2 or 3 years down the road and you can easily switch. Who's going to hire you? You don't have any kind of, skills under your belt, real professional skills with the company. And so it was really a struggle. And I know I applied over those years. I know I applied for over 5,000 probably different jobs, just trying to find something that I could do. Right. And those things worked out. And the beauty of it, I never realized that entrepreneurship was the answer. To go to another job, work in corporate communications, work with human resources, where, I was trying to do something where I could utilize my communication skills. And all of those places rejected me. And again, that's the beauty, that's the gift of entrepreneurship, because you can create your own terms, you can create your own opportunity with the gifts that you have.
Right. That's awesome. So Rozs, before we get more into the interview, could you tell people about where they can find you, social media, your website, everywhere they can find you?
Absolutely. So you can definitely find me online. I am online. My website is Rated G, and that's RATED as in Destiny, my last name, GEE.com. You can go there and find out more about me and how to connect with me. I'm also on Facebook. You can find me at Rozs AG on Facebook. you can find me at I am Rozs G on Instagram as well as Twitter. So, and I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find me at Rozs G. So just look up Rozs G or either I am Rozs G, and you can definitely find me for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So back to the agency and how that started. How are you able as an agency to get people placed? I've seen some of your articles and how you have, interviewed a lot of high rated names like I can't think right now who I'm thinking about. All I can see is Idea.
Tyler
Perry. Yeah, Tyler Perry. And what are some other names that you've interviewed? And how are you positioning yourself in getting these articles? Getting these articles written or getting people placed in these high name publications.
Wow. Well, there's one of my favorite scriptures talks about do not despise small beginnings. And so when I started out in this space, and as I was volunteering with my church, a lady, her name was Teresa Harrison, and she was the publisher of a magazine called Gospel Today. And in the mid 2000s, maybe around 2008, 2009. But anyway, that publication really was a thriving publication at that time. Mm-hmm. And, she was the one who opened the door to give me an opportunity to really write for the first time for a national publication. And that was just so huge to me.
Yeah.
And because she believed in me, because, we can get nowhere in this life by ourselves. We really do stand on the shoulders of giants, and we stand on the shoulders of people who say yes to us, right?
Yes.
Did not know me. There was no other connection. I just kind of, was really persistent, and she said yes. And so that opened the door for me to write on a national platform. Mm. And then I had the confidence and the courage and the faith, of course, mm-hmm. to reach out to other magazines and other, publications to say, hey, if I did it for them, is there a way that I could do it for you? And of course, I didn't use that language, of course, but this was my inner confidence saying that. Mm-hmm. And from there, it was another quantum leap that I took with Black Enterprise.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I went after Black Enterprise for, I don't know, probably close to 2 years. Wow. And talk about rejection after rejection after rejection, because again, nobody knows who you are. And I really didn't have a track record. Wow. But when I tell you persistence pays off, persistence pays off. You keep asking, if you keep seeking, if you keep knocking, a door will open for you. And that's what happened to me at Black Enterprise. And that's when the senior vice president and executive editor at large, his name is Alfred Edmond Jr., he actually sent me an email back. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh, he sent me an email back, and he directed me towards someone who I could pitch to. So that was he led me to someone else, but at least that was even a yes for him doing that. And so to answer your question, it started out like that, and that's how I kind of landed onto the national scene through Black Enterprise. And because of the respect and the prestige that Black Enterprise has built up in their brand over time, including with the natural gifting that God has given me through the gift of writing, the gift of communication, the gift of even speaking and brand messaging, that opened up doors for me to have the confidence to go after and ask people, some of the celebrities that I've had a chance to work with. It was really asking. It was just having the confidence to ask them, and you just never know when you ask. They actually said yes, and so that really opened the doors for me to interview Steve Harvey and Serena Williams and
TD Jakes.
TD Jakes to actually, work with TD Jakes, and for TD Jakes to really say that you have a great gift at writing. That's really humbling. It's really humbling. And, and I say that not to impress anyone here, but just to impress upon, like, we really have more power within us once we conquer our fear factors, and we conquer things that's within us. We really can do anything. And you'll be surprised of when you actually have something as big as just asking, and knowing what that ask could bring on the other side is really, really amazing.
Yeah, so, that is amazing testimony. Like you said, when you step out on faith and you ask the question and you're like, okay, God, you told me to ask, so I'm gonna ask, and whatever happens, I'm trusting in you. And then you jumped out there and you didn't fall. You like jumped like on an eagle and just took on and continue to soar. That's just awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And so anytime that, even today, if I say, oh, I think I want to interview, this person, or I would like to do a story on this person, I really will just go after, find out who I need to talk to, do my research and get on the phone with them. And they're just like, some people may be like, who are you? But when I get on the phone with them, I really just step out in faith, and I step out and I ask that question, and it just comes back, as a yes, Even sometimes when you don't get a yes all the time, you can always know how to, the no is really about perspective. And, and I consider no as next opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's just the way that, look at it. But
that's good. Don't be scared of the N word. It's just it may not be no, it's the next opportunity. I like that. So So in regards to working with business people and, nonprofits and other people that may want to position themselves, how does that work? If one was to inquire about working with you, how does that work?
Okay, well, that is really good because even though we have been, just like we talked about, we have, had opportunities to actually to write for some great influencers. Of course, they're not our typical clients, and I want to let people know that they're not our clients, even though they have because of our agency, they've allowed us to write a story on them. So I want to make that very clear.
Right.
Our base client, our everyday base client is the small business entrepreneur. I want to be very, very clear with that. But within that avatar of the small business entrepreneur, we are looking for people who are really, really want to make an impact, and people who are really out there. And what I found, Tara, is that a lot of people, they're out there and they're out there and they're doing great work. They have a great service. They have a great product. They work in excellence. They work very hard, and they have helped people to get impact. So it's like they're, kind of just starting out and kind of, doing this hobby thing. They are really out there helping other people get results, right? Those are the people that we really like to work with. We call those high achievers, because when you have something in your hand, your gift, your talent, whatever that you bring to the table, your cause, your mission, something that you're trying to do on a greater level, and you're creating impact for someone else, then that means that you're an influencer, right? That means that you are a leader. You're influencing someone else in their lives. And so those are the people, those are the small business entrepreneurs that we're looking for, and that we like to have serious conversations about, to see how can we help them to not only make sure that their brand is ready, because that's so important, A lot of people reach out to us, and it's okay. We will do a brand analysis if we need to, but a lot of people reach out to us and they're not ready. They don't have a website. They don't have any social media platforms. They have a great gift that they're doing, but it's not developed. And so we would not put anyone in a position where we're trying to put them in the media and they don't have those initial brand elements together, right? We let them know automatically, these are the things that you need first in place, so that we can leverage your brand, for the media. So, but for those who are ready and know that they're ready, they're saying, I'm out here, I know I have something great to offer. I know I have great content, a great voice, a great message, a great product, great service, great cause. We're looking for those people who are saying, I just need for someone to help me to market position myself through the media so that my voice can be heard, so that I can be heard, I can be found, I can be seen. And again, I really like to put that the emphasis on seeing. We're not talking about seeing from a vanity point of view. We're not just talking about, putting you in a magazine just so you could, as they say, feel yourself. I'm feeling myself today.
Right.
We really concentrate on purpose-driven publicity. It's not just the fact that you want to be out there or you want, someone, but it's really because you want to touch more lives and you're looking for ways of how you can touch and grow more lives. And that's what I think the type of media that I'm in and that I help people to produce. That's one of the strongest, most significant parts to me. So that's what we do. We help to market position them so that they can be a thought leader, they can be an expert, a subject matter expert in their field, and so that they can be an influencer, because really those that are moving and shaking the planets today are people who are influencers. And when I say that, those are leaders who can inspire someone else to take action, like you.
Yeah.
Exactly what an influencer is. They are someone who can inspire someone else to take action.
Yeah. You're right. That's awesome, because a lot of, you see a lot of people doing great things, and then, but they just need a little help positioning. And so it's with help with agencies like you, then they can call up and say, and inquire about your services, find out the fees and everything that's around that, so that they can understand, like, this is how I'm able to position myself. And the good thing you just say about, like, the website and where people can get in contact with you is because you don't want to take somebody's money and position them in a magazine and no one can get back with them about any future business, any connections, anything like that. So you're really helping the people that aren't ready to set themselves up so they can maximize this situation better.
That's right.
And as far as just putting them in the magazine and then just, I did my part. So you're really helping them position themselves correctly.
That's exactly right. And that's the only way to go. I just met with someone last week, and when they see the media part, of course, they get excited and say, oh, I want to get out there. But once we had our discovery session, we talked about those elements that weren't in place. And she was just so happy and so grateful that I didn't take advantage of her or try to put her into a program that didn't fit for her, but I actually told her, this is what you need first before we can even have a conversation about, placing you into a media outlet, because our whole objective is we want you to be found, right? We don't want this one-stop wonder with you. We want you to be found over and over again.
Right.
Who are looking for you, because once you are established, we want to build on that momentum. People they see your name and they see you here and there, and you're saying the same thing, because that again, it establishes your thought leadership, and people begin to trust you and more as an expert.
Yeah, they do. That's great. So in regards to writing, we're going to talk about we're going to step away from the agency, but in regards to sort of being the writer and writing these stories about people and businesses, what are some things that you have seen with the time that you've been writing articles? What are some name some experiences that you maybe learned from? Maybe someone's out here and they're interested in being a writer like you, but they might need some, I don't know, just maybe some things that they should do. If they want to write and they want to do the same thing that you're doing, how can they go about doing that?
Oh, wow, that is such a great question, because again, one of my gifts, of course, is writing. And I love to do that. It does take discipline, though, I must tell you. It's almost like, and to be really transparent, writing is like working out. Mm-hmm. It takes, and we know how we feel when we work, when we think about working out, but we get to the gym. Yeah. And once we get through the workout, we're saying to ourselves, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
Moment of transparency when it comes to writing. My husband always tell me all the time, you should be writing more, and I'm like, well, I do write, but anyway. but to answer your question, when it comes to writing, you really do, you have to have a passion for it. And when I say a passion for it, I'm not really talking about because it's a passion and then there's the discipline. So what I just about with my example was the discipline. Mm-hmm. Of course, you gotta have that to make it come to pass, but you still have to have a passion for writing. And when you are writing, or you feel like you want to write, you really want to. The number one thing that I bring to the table as a writer is my ability to listen to my client. Mm-hmm. To understand their vision, mm-hmm. and to take their vision and almost become like a ghostwriter for them, as if they were writing it themselves.
Thank you for joining us on Inspired in Action. If you want to hear more information about Rozs G and her agency, please go to her website at www.ratedg.com. Thank you for joining us on Inspired in Action. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the website, www.inspiredaction.com, and subscribe to our list so you can be updated on all the things that are going on with Inspired in Action. Thank you again, and bye-bye.